Hi everyone, it's Jessica. Today's project is all about celebrating my friend Julie from over at Craft with Julie. She recently hit the milestone of 2,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and a bunch of us are joining together in a hop to mark that celebration. So what we're doing is taking something that she has done before and scrap lifting her. Here you can see a picture of her layout that as soon as I saw this video back in September, I knew immediately that I was going to have to copy it for myself. So I've gone ahead and prepared a whole bunch of pieces. Hers was a back to school layout, as mine is as well. I'm doing my daughter's picture here from school. And this pattern paper is from one of my Hip Kit Club collections. It's so subtle, but I thought that would be a fun background. And then I used my Cricut to do a whole bunch of different cuts, some out of cardstock and some out of pattern paper. So I've got this mink piece of cardstock with that notebook torn edge to it, a little bit of blue pattern paper, and then also that corkboard pattern paper, which I'm just going to kind of layer, one over the other until I kind of like about where they go together. And then what I'm going to do is put my photo here, and I'm going to place the pencil and the ruler to the side of my daughter's picture. When Julie did her layout in her video back in September, I was just so excited because I'm like, that is the most adorable thing I have ever seen. And not only did I want to recreate it for some school pictures, but I thought it would be a really versatile layout that you could do like a baseball bat or, anything else along those lines, that just you could do the same kind of idea, cut a bunch of stuff with your Cricut and make those shapes. And I thought that it just kind of created a really fun L-shaped look on a layout for a big photo like this. Now I'm also kind of going through my stash here, looking at school theme stamps, some star die cuts, and just kind of trying to get a feel for what I might want to use embellishment wise. I don't end up using all of these things. This is just stuff that I gathered as I was digging through my stash, but this is the basic idea here of what everything is going to look like. And so now I'm going to take a little bit of time just to kind of fuss with some of these pieces a little bit and kind of add that extra little touch. One of the things that I love that Julie does is she always is using her blending brush to put a little wash of color on her papers or her background. So I am using that trick here just to kind of darken up some of my Cricut cuts, just to hide, where that white core of the paper shows after they are cut in the Cricut. I apologize if you can hear my cats being crazy in the background. They have decided that, voiceover time is time to play. So here what I'm doing is grabbing my little sanding tool and I'm just scratching up the pink cardstock that I have to be the eraser on my pencil, just to make it look a little bit more realistic. And now I'm going to go ahead and start layering all the things together. Here I used a little bit of silver foil paper for that metal part on the top of the pencil. And I was using my tape runner at first when I was assembling some of these Cricut cuts. And I realized pretty quickly that it probably would have been smarter to use liquid glue. So that way I had a little bit of time to kind of wiggle things around until I could perfectly place them in that layered place that they needed to go to create the item. Now my pencil, I did actually use some yellow patterned paper rather than just a piece of cardstock. And you can't see it very well in the video, but I thought that that was kind of a fun touch. And so I'll do a little bit of trimming since I didn't layer it just right. But otherwise, I thought that this turned out so cute. And I'm really excited, like I said, to kind of think of some other shapes that I could use to recreate this layout in different ways. One of my daughters plays softball, so I think I'll definitely be doing that at some point in the future. Okay, so now I'm going to start assembling some things here, and I'm just kind of layering some of these papers together, making my best guess as far as what Julie had and kind of copying it in a way that will work for me. So I've used like just a whole bunch of different papers here from my stash. Like I said, that base page, it has a really subtle pattern to it, and that is from Hip Kit Club. These other papers are from my Close to My Heart stash. From some various collections, and it just was a lot of fun to kind of, go digging and see what I could use. Now I do want to have this 1/2 inch piece as part of one of my paper layers, just like Julie did. She had a zip strip that she used, and I couldn't find anything in my stash that I was really loving, and I really wanted it to be in that blue sapphire color so that I could bring that in a little bit. It is in the ruler over there. So I'm going to go ahead and make my own little pattern 1/2 inch strip of paper. So I went digging through my stamps until I found something that had just this like lined pattern stamp to it. And I thought that would be really easy to stamp over and over again and kind of create that pattern that would be easy to follow. So I'm just making some diagonal lines, and now I have, pattern and also in the color that I want, and it was really easy to do just myself on that piece of white cardstock. So I'll go ahead and layer that here just like she did, and then I can start to put my photo and my pencil and my ruler onto the page. So this is going to go over here, and then I'll put that there. And then this will be the photo. I like that fun pop of pink, just kind of pulling on some of the colors that are in my daughter's dress. Now, Julie did also put her pencil up on a little bit of foam tape, so I'm going to do that too. Now, normally I do not get this generous with my foam tape. Usually I'm actually a little bit stingier than that, but this is some foam tape that I don't really care for, and I kind of bought a lot of it, not knowing that I wasn't going to like it, and so I've been trying to just use it up because I don't have it in my heart to throw it away, even though I really dislike it. So I put a lot of foam tape behind that pencil to pop it up on my page. And now I am ready to start thinking about some of the extra embellishments beyond those two big pieces. So I thought stars would be fun. That kind of to me says school, and this is a layout for my daughter's school picture. So I think I'm going to use these stitched stars that I got from Hip Kit Club. I've got a couple of different sizes. So I'm going to go ahead and take those off camera and cut those out in that same dark blue sapphire colored cardstock. And then I also went digging and I found a couple of stamps here is where I took that stitch star and I added the stitching to it. This I stamped from one of my school stamps from my stash, and I used that same pink color. And then I've got a couple of little doodads over there that at this point I'm not sure yet which ones I'm going to use, but I pulled them based on their colors and I thought maybe I could work those in. So I spent quite a bit of time kind of messing around with these stars. When I first cut them, I really thought that I wanted to put them in the lower right-hand corner of my photo over by where the pencil is. But then I felt like the page was starting to get really heavy over there. And so then I kind of played around with moving it over to the bottom left-hand corner instead. But then I thought that top corner, then it was feeling a little bit empty. So I turned to my little, like all my little, I don't even know what you call them. I just call them doodads. Like these things that are, I think maybe like photo hangers or something. And then I have these little spiral clips. I got some that are pink. I've got some that are white. So I wasn't sure like what color I wanted to use. I'm like, this pink one kind of matches the pink in the eraser colored paper there. Or do I want to bring white so it's got a little bit of contrast? I was like, I don't know. I kind of played around a little bit back and forth. In the end, I went with the white one. And then I thought, oh, shoot, I forgot that I wanted to add some splatters because Julie added splatters to her layout. So then I was like, do I do white splatters? Do I do some dark navy blue splatters? The blue would show up better. The white, you're probably not going to see a whole lot because of the lightness of that base page, but they would still be visible and just kind of add a subtle touch. So in the end, I decided to go for white, and I almost forgot and started doing them over top of my page, but I was like, oh, I better cover up my picture before I get that on there. Recently made that mistake before. So I'll just kind of go through and flick some of these and get some splatters going. You definitely cannot see them in the video, but in real life, even that white on top of that lighter pattern paper, you can definitely see. Over here on my pencil and on my ruler, I did go a little splatter crazy. And at one point at the end there, I was like, oh shoot, that's kind of a lot. But I can't take it off now. I was like, oh dear, that's kind of a lot, but I just have to kind of live with it. It ends up being okay. But yeah, I definitely went a little overboard in my splattering. So needed to calm down just a little bit there. So I'm here, I was kind of looking at it like, did I just ruin my page? But it's okay. Then I thought it might be fun to take some blue and white twine and get a little texture up in that top corner just to kind of build it up a little bit. So I fussed with tying something through that spiral clip, and then I was like, oh, I really don't like that. So then I cut it off and threw it away. So, I was just trying to kind of build that top corner a little bit, but in the end, I thought that there's so much going on in this page, and everything else, the pencil and the ruler feel very heavy on the page, that I didn't really think that I needed to make all 3 points in my visual triangle so intense. So I kind of let that spiral clip just be it. And then for my final touches, I went to some enamel dots, and I just scattered a couple that are in that sapphire blue color. And then the ones that I was working with, I ran out of that color. So then I had to go digging through my stash to find some more blue enamel dots so that I could get just like one more on the page. So the one that I end up putting up there in the top near that white spiral clip, it almost has a different shape. It's a little bit more rounded, but I think someone who is not a scrapbooker would probably never take note of that. And so it'll just be me probably who flipping through the albums like, oh, look, that one's different. But otherwise, I really love the way this layout turned out. I'm so excited that I was able to help Julie celebrate her amazing accomplishment and copy one of her layouts that I have been really excited to copy ever since I saw her video back in September. I will leave that linked down below, and I will also leave the link to the playlist of all the ladies who are hopping along to celebrate Julie's 2K celebration here. So thank you so much for being with me, and congratulations, my friend. Bye. Happy crafting.